morning. This is Tampa Home Talk. We're glad you're here. Welcome back for another very exciting week. We had so much fun doing the live question and answer session a couple weeks ago, and we thought we would go ahead and plan another show like that just for today. So,
Katrina, before you get started, I got to tell you something I did this week.
Oh, do tell. Do tell, Mr. Pat George.
You know the kind of guy I am that I like to do volunteering. So I had the opportunity to go to a retirement home and do some volunteering. And I took some tequila with me. And there was this lady there that had not smiled since she had been there at the retirement home. But after I met her and gave her a little bit of adult beverage, she was smiling and having fun.
Pat, really? You are so full of it.
No, we had a lot of fun volunteering and just, playing music for the folks at the retirement home and making the ladies smile.
I thought you read my Facebook post from yesterday and were totally mocking me.
No, I wouldn't do that.
So yesterday was Red Day. And so
that's what it was. It was Red Day for me.
What is Red Day?
So Red Day, great question, Leo, is all about Keller Williams giving back to the community that day. And so it started with a gal named Mo Anderson. She's still very involved in Keller Williams, but that's her birthday. And the goal of Red Day was for every Keller Williams agent worldwide, all over the world with Keller Williams, to basically go out into the community and volunteer during that entire day. The whole office is actually closed on Red Day. So like if you went into the Keller Williams office yesterday, there would be nobody at the front desk, which is rare. There's nobody at the corporate office in Austin. Everybody at KW is out volunteering in some sort, some way for Red Day. Okay. So last year we went and painted some houses for, I guess there were like orphans and like a group home.
What color did you paint the house?
I think they were gray. It was the outside.
Wasn't red?
No, it was not red.
That's awesome.
Good question. And so this year what we did was we visited not only a counseling type place for underprivileged children. We took some extra things we had there. But the first place that we went was a memory care facility for patients with Alzheimer's and dementia. And essentially, this study that was done found that even though they can't remember, a lot of times they can't remember the folks that, that they've been around their whole life. They never forget caring for a child. They never forget having a pet. They never forget those things. And so there was a gentleman there yesterday that was in a wheelchair and he's in hospice care. So who knows how many days or weeks he has left. And the staff there was literally crying. She said he has not smiled since he's been at that facility. And he smiled the entire time we were there. So he was given like a little dog.
There was tequila involved?
No, that was Pat's story.
No, that was my visit. I had the lady smiling. She had the guy smiling.
Yeah, so the guy was like smiling the entire time. It was just incredible. And he had a rosary and there was a little cross missing. And one of our agents offered to bring him back another rosary. And he said, no, I've had this one for a long time. So he said, well, maybe we can just bring him back a cross or something to,
nice.
Add to his rosary. But it was really an incredible story. And the gentleman was like almost crying, but he was really excited to have this pet. And it's just incredible. It was at first I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, I don't mind volunteering, but I don't know how connected I am to this. But it's, we don't decide. Like each office decides what they're going to do. Then all the Keller Williams agents collectively do it as a group. And so this was kind of already decided for us. And this is what we did. And it was really an incredible experience. Like wow. Some of the women with the babies, were holding them, coddling them, touching their face, really excited about it.
Where'd you get the babies from?
We all donated them. And so we all brought them and donated the stuffed animals. There was like cats, dogs, and babies. The one lady.
Wait. So you donated pets and babies?
Yes.
To these?
Well, yeah, collectively as a group. Okay. And then we all took them to the memory care facility and
you took
passed them out.
The babies and the dogs and cats back at the end?
No, they were theirs to keep.
Okay.
Stuffed animals. You get that, right?
No, I didn't get that.
I gathered that.
Yeah, I was like, this is crazy.
No, we didn't leave animals at the memory care facility. They're stuffed animals.
So it wasn't an actual dog?
No, it was a pet, like a stuffed animal pet, like a plush toy.
When you say pet, that's like someone's pet that...
They kind of felt like they were real.
Okay.
So it was really an incredible experience. It was not what I expected. And so that's what I think made it so cool. There was one lady, it's so funny, I have to tell you about this.
Hey, Pat, were you thinking they were real dogs, cats, and babies, or were they stuffed animals in your mind, too?
I think he's in the next studio.
He's probably
we can't see him.
Traffic and weather in the next studio.
Okay. No, but so one lady, they went to hand her this baby doll, just to clear that up.
Okay.
And
I'm sure the listeners out there, 888-404-1010, call Pat and let him know if you thought it was real dog, cat, and baby, or
yeah,
stuffed animal,
I could have
dog,
skipped
cat,
right
baby.
past that. If I did, please let me know. But yeah, this one lady went to hand her a baby doll, and she was like, "Oh no, I can't be responsible for that." Refuse the baby. She's like, I am not having the baby.
I've seen way too many Twilight Zone episodes where the baby doll ends up killing people. So yeah, I would refuse the baby doll as well.
Only Leo. Only Leo. All right, so we are going to open up our studio call-in lines today for questions for myself and Leo. Our studio call-in lines are 888-404-1010. If Pat's not answering, he will. He'll be back in a jiffy. And if we actually have somebody on the air, we can only take a caller at a time because we do a remote broadcast. If you've listened to Tampa Home Talk before, you know that. Our studio call-in lines are 888-404-1010. Again, 888-404-1010. And so some of the questions we had this week, and this is a two-part question, Leo, and I guess I'll answer it and you can answer it too. One of our clients said, is it okay to perform an inspection myself? And so the answer to that question is yes. Technically.
Well, you should always perform your own inspection.
Jim is on the line.
Well, they're asking about actually regular inspections, like in their inspection period. Can they do a full-on inspection?
Yeah, they should take the gumption to go do their own inspection themselves. They should also have us do it. But I get as familiar with that home as possible.
I think their question was, how can we basically do an inspection without hiring an inspector? That was a question.
Oh, probably not.
So the answer is yes, they can. However, the scope of that inspection is going to be limited, and not just because you're not hiring a professional inspector, but because the places you're allowed to access and we're allowed to let you access are going to be limited.
Right.
So, for example, we cannot let you on the roof. We cannot let you in the attic. There's many, many places we can't let you. So you can do things that you could do from the ground, and we would have to be there with you like we would for regular inspection.
I think we have a caller.
But you can't do any damage to the home, right? So you have to leave it exactly the way that it was.
We can't do any damage either, so.
Exactly. So that's the caveat. You can perform your own inspection, but we don't recommend it. We have had in rare instances, like we have one right now, it's a general contractor. He's doing his own inspection. He's still not allowed on the roof or in the attic, but
that doesn't stop them.
He's doing, well, if we're there, we're not going to let him on the roof or in the attic. So welcome. I think we have, is it Mr. Tim Coette? How's it going?
Good, Katrina. How are you?
Good. Happy Friday to you. Welcome back to Tampa Home Talk.
Yes, good to be here.
What's new in your world over there at the Pasco County Tax Collector's Office?
So the big news and the reason for my call is we are closed for our Saturday. Our normal Saturday hours were closed because the state is doing some upgrades. And as you know, about 90% of what we do is state-related, driver license, registration, title work. Saturday is usually only for Pasco residents only, but we just wanted to get the word out that because the state is doing upgrades, we cannot be open this weekend.
Oh, wow. So
and
is that any Pasco or any facility, right? I imagine it's closed Saturday?
It's actually doesn't just extend to the facilities, it extends to online services. So anybody listening to your radio show today, they will not be able to do anything through the state DMV's website this weekend. Everything is supposed to be up Monday, 8 a.m., including online services, but the entire state DMV system will be down this weekend.
Wow. So what are they upgrading exactly that the whole entire system's down?
Well, they tell us, and they're our partners, but sometimes they frustrate us, to be completely honest.
The version we get is...
I know. Well, they tell us that they're migrating data to new servers because they need to take some servers offline that have reached end of life.
Okay.
Well,
so
you heard it here first.
That's
Pasco
about all they're
County
giving
government
us,
is
and that's
shut
all
down.
I can regurgitate to you.
Well, it's the state. It's the whole state of Florida.
The state of Florida has a government shutdown this Saturday. You heard it here first.
Don't be saying that.
Government shutdown. Leo likes to over-exaggerate a little bit. You know that.
Wait, does that mean
Leo.
Does that mean the property appraiser sites are going to be down and I won't be able to do my research for my permit letters?
No. The property appraiser site is different. That is totally run by the individual property appraisers, and have their own setup per county.
What about the permit sites?
That will not affect that at all.
Permits?
Will not affect permits. It literally will only affect DMV functions.
Okay.
Driver license stuff, title work, registrations, anything like that will just not be functioning throughout the weekend. I believe it actually starts at 7 p.m. tonight.
Okay.
And then goes till 8 a.m. Monday.
Well, thank you so much, Tim. We appreciate you on, and we'll be back right after this break.
Well, good morning. Welcome back. This is Tampa Home Talk. I'm one of the two hosts, Leo Kane with Barrel Engineering and Inspection. And we have Katrina Madewell from Tampa Home Talk and Keller Williams, Red Day.
We are glad you're here. Thanks for listening. Our goal every week is just to provide you amazing information. We try to bring you great guests. The feedback we've got for the show is pretty good. And so our goal is to give you a little something that you can learn every week, just a little something.
Like the DMV is shut down this weekend.
Yeah, DMV is shut down. Thanks, Tim, for calling in and letting us know about that. And that's a statewide issue. They're upgrading some of their servers.
I never knew they were open on Saturday to begin with.
Well, some of them are. Yes, I knew the Pasco County office was. The caveat to that is the Pasco office is only open to Pasco residents on Saturday. So did you know you can go to any of them, regardless of what county you live in, anytime?
Did not know. I just do it all online.
Yeah.
At the last minute.
Well, there'll be time that you might need to go to the DMV, right? Like if you lost your driver's license or something like that. Can you imagine?
I can't imagine a world where I lose my driver's license.
Well, I think I told you the story, right, about how I lost my ID in Nashville, and I had to take my broker's exam the next day, and I needed 2 forms of ID, so my passport and my driver's license, and I lost my driver's license, and then I found it. My friend found it.
You don't have a copy of it on your cell phone?
No, I
do.
don't. I probably should. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I have a copy of all that on my cell phone. I just want to make sure that if someone steals my cell phone, they get everything they need to completely destroy my life.
Yeah, it makes sense. You have no password on your phone, right?
No, I have lots of passwords on my phone. Too many. But I'm kind of fuzzy on the whole facial recognition password on the phone because I think anyone's face can unlock it. I don't think that's very accurate.
Have you thought about if there's a picture of yourself too? Could it unlock it with a photo of you?
Oh, yeah, it does. I've used my other phone to do that as an experiment.
Of course you did.
Of course. And if you're wondering why I have 2 phones, I have one phone in my hands right now, and you can see this on the video and on the Facebook Live. The sole purpose of the second phone, it doesn't even have a signal. All it is the remote control for the video camera for the podcast.
That's why you brought that, really? That's your soul?
This is the only reason this phone exists right now is this is the remote control. Because if you're using your real phone to man the video camera and all these pop-ups like you have a new email, you have a new text message.
Yes.
Your warrior is level 4 in your video game you're playing.
Video game.
It gets in the way of trying to make sure that we get the most optimal lighting and distance and aperture for the video.
Makes sense.
Katrina,
yes.
I have a question. Lately, I do a lot of garage selling on Saturday mornings, and I go through some nice neighborhoods, and I've noticed just an influx of more signs popping up in some really, really nice properties in the Carrollwood area. Is there a reason for that?
Yes, our market's cooling. We've been talking about this for a while, but we're starting to see the pending sales are still real strong. So there's still quite a few buyers out there, but it's slowing down a little bit, and it's taking a little bit longer to move homes. The days on market's a little bit longer is what we're noticing. And basically it's, there's more price reductions than we've seen in a long, long while.
Would you think that anything, and we just had, somebody from the tax collector's office on, probably should ask them, but have the taxes gone up that much? Maybe. I always think it's, especially waterfront property, the taxes are just too much to try to keep up with.
It's interesting that you say that because I picked up a really quick little community newspaper that was dropped in my neighborhood. And I just read the first part kind of real quick, skimmed through it. And it was talking about the increase in the tax revenue and the increase in basically taxes, period. So I know that think about this, we have Save Our Homes exemption in Florida. So the minute that you buy a home and it's your primary residence, it's capped. Even if it's not your primary residence, it's still capped, but the cap's a lot larger, right? It's like a little over 3 times more than it would be if it was your homestead property. The difference is whenever a home changes hands, so it's sold, there's been some sort of change in that, you will see actually increases a lot of times in the tax, especially if.
Why?
Well, because they're reassessing it at the current market value. I mean, if you've been in your home for 20 years, the tax bill you're going to pay is going to be different than what the new buyer is going to pay. The good news is there's a thing called portability. So you actually get to take your portability and take that with you to another property. So what that means is you take your tax savings, in addition to your homestead exemption, you could take it with you to your next property. And they did that really when the housing market crashed. And they had to do it because people were kind of stuck, right? They were stuck in their home. They could not actually move because their taxes were so low. They didn't want to get hit with that big tax liability change. So not saying your taxes won't go up. I'm just saying there's a huge additional portability exemption, like another credit, before you get assessed on your new tax bill. That makes sense?
Okay, that makes sense. Sure.
So thank goodness they did that too, because really in the crazy market prices we had in like 06 and even before 06, we really could not, many people that were in their home for a long, long time that wanted or needed to move. And we saw many, many instances of that to where, basically maybe an aging parent needed to come live with them, but the existing space they had really just wasn't big enough or comfortable enough or whatever that situation is. Maybe it was a growing family having some additional children or just needed more space. They were really stuck to where they had to either add on or do something different, rent their home, well, if they rent it, they lose the big exemption, but they just were stuck, many people, because they didn't want that huge tax change on top of a bigger mortgage payment. So, that's what actually Mike Fasano was behind that a lot. He was one of the big people that spearheaded that whole project to get the portability exemption in place. And that still exists today. Makes sense, Mr. Pat?
The majority of that did. And I had to tell you, though, about a house that I had back in 1989 I bought in Carrollwood. I bought it for $72,000, and I just noticed on the listings. Now, it's only been 20 years, and it sold for the other day for $292,000, and it just kills me that I could have stayed there.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the whole point, right, of the time value of money. We've said this so many times. I mean, my first home, I paid $82,000 for it, and it was brand new. And that's, over time, you cannot buy today what you could buy 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago. I mean, I think my grandparents, they built their first house in the 50s, and it was literally, I think they paid something ridiculous, like $500 for the lot. And then they built a brand new home on it in the 50s. And I want to say that was like under $10,000.
Well, that's like average of your home every year. It's going up $10,000 to $15,000 every year.
Well, in the Bay Area, our average home price increase is about 5 to 7% a year. I mean,
really?
that's good.
I mean, the last statistics we looked at was like 10 to 12.
I know, but overall, generally speaking, over a long, long period of time, pre-housing market crash, our median average kind of middle of the road price is 5 to 7% increase. And that doesn't even count like everything that's been going on with Tampa, downtown, all that stuff. So there's a lot of statistics that show we're going to be closer to that higher percentage number, at least for a while, until people get priced out of the market.
It will be like San Francisco and LA.
I predict that. I think at some point it's going to be. I think we're a little bit out. I would say 10, 15, 20 years max. But it's coming.
And then it's time to move to a new city.
For some people, it will be. Yeah, for some people, it absolutely will be. But it's one of those things where if you want to own a home, buy. You don't want to keep renting because it's not a good time to do that. You don't want to get priced out of the market. Because then what happens is they literally have people, like me, that will volunteer their time at the Board of Realtors and then different task force that will have home ownership or basically renter affordability. So they'll put caps on how much rent can actually go up. So if you're renting, and we see that still even in places like California.
Yeah, New York.
Where someone's renting, this little beach house for $800, $900, $1,000 a month, but they've been there for 20 years. So if that tenant were to leave and give notice, they could rent that same place for
4 or 5 times that amount, easily.
Way over that, and more than likely they would just tear it down and build.
Yeah.
No, and I can't even wrap my brain around some of the stuff that happens in California. I hear the stories from some of my friends, but they say literally like you can't make a move. Like here, if you have a rental home and you just say it's time for me to sell it, I want to sell it, you just give the tenant notice, and then the lease does transfer with the sale. so that who they make their payment to is different. But you could absolutely terminate the lease at the end of that period and just say, I don't want to renew my lease anymore. So it's just, we'll start to see, when you start to see a lot of that stuff, that's when we're already there.
Yeah, but we're not there yet.
So do you want to answer some of the questions or ask some of the questions that we got this week?
Yeah, unless we have some callers at 888-404-1010.
Yep, our studio call lines are open today.
888-404-1010.
Call in. We will take your inspection, real estate, engineer type questions. Whether it's me or Leo, we'll know who the right person is to answer that.
We'll even field your insurance questions.
We'll try.
Yeah, we got to make up for Adam.
Yeah, we'll answer what we can on Adam's behalf. And we'll connect you to him when it's not there. So what question are we going to answer when we come back after the break?
I don't know. Let's pick one of these for you. What is a stratified market? That's an interesting one.
Where are you talking about stratified? Where'd you see that?
Yeah, right here. I've never heard that term before. So that's the question I want. The term I've never heard of before on this whole list of questions for you. We're going to go straight there.
Well, I'm glad it's you because I don't know what that is either.
But no, that's a question for you.
I know. We got that question, but I don't know what it is. I think someone's confused. And they got the question wrong. That's what I think.
Fine. We'll just go for the down payment question. How much money should I save for a down payment?
Yeah, actually, this is a good one. What kind of credit score and how much money do I need to buy a home?
You can't tell me I get to pick the question.
Fine.
And immediately say I don't like that
All
question.
right, we'll answer your question when we come back. And our studio call-in number for your questions,
888-404-1010. That's
888-404-1010. We'll be back in just a minute.
Well, good morning. Welcome back. You're listening to Tampa Home Talk. Leo Kane is asking the tough questions to Katrina Madewell. And like a good political figure, she's dodging them.
Whoa, please. Don't even go there with me.
What's a stratified market?
It is not a real question.
It's on your question sheet.
It's not.
Okay, how much money do I need to do for a down payment? That's a good one.
It is a good one. As a matter of fact, I just talked to our lender, Sarah Cricky at the mortgage firm, about that couple days ago, and they said one of the most common questions they get that they field all the time is people think they need these huge down payments to buy their first home.
20%. That's what I've been brainwashed
people
into
think
thinking.
they need 20% and tens of thousands of dollars, and it's just not true.
And if I follow the advice of Dave Ramsey, I need 100%.
It's not true. Not true. Read the book.
I haven't read the book yet.
Yes, that's absolutely not true. Dave recommends at least 10. 20% is ideal.
But he still wants you to pay it off as fast as possible.
He does want you to pay it off as fast as possible.
So ideally, he would want you to have 100% down.
If you follow those principles, you can actually pay off your home within 7 to 10 years.
Awesome. I got to read the book.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's about living within your means, right? Living comfortably and not, whatever. The question I'm going to ask Dave, though, the next time I see him.
Oh, do we ever get him on the show?
No, he does not do guest appearances.
Oh.
He does not.
Will he let us be on his show?
Probably not. He's got his own little agenda over there. If you want to do a debt-free screen, we can show up and do that.
Why don't we get a debt reducer person on the show in a couple of weeks?
We were talking about that, a debt resolution expert. Actually, I have somebody great in mind that we could bring in to chat about that.
Like a bankruptcy attorney?
Yes.
Yeah, let's bring one of those in.
Yeah, and if you're listening and you have a thought on that and you want to know, who else would be a great guest to bring in for that show as well, call us.
Yeah, 888-404-1010.
And we're here. That's our live on-air studio number. Pat George will answer, and he can either field the question or put you on 888-404-1010. So, yeah, again, people don't need tens of thousands of dollars to buy a home. And so it's just a big misconception. Many years ago you did. In other countries you still do.
And if you're buying condominiums, you do.
Well, you could need a larger down payment. Yeah,
35%.
For sure. Well, no, there's less. There's less. And they have what they call non-warrantable condo programs, which Sarah Cricky at the mortgage firm does, where they don't need those extensive questionnaires, and it's a lot better of a program, if you ask me.
That's awesome.
Yep.
We should get Sarah on the show.
She's coming back soon. She's in Minnesota right now.
I want to get everyone on the show.
Everybody's coming.
I want our entire Facebook channel on the phone.
So if you guys have a question, or maybe you think you would be a good guest for the show.
Excellent.
And you're in and around our mission, which is to maintain great credit, live within your means, and build wealth, or of course anything in and around the real estate space, making your everyday life better, you may be a good guest for Tampa Home Talk. Or maybe you're listening, you know who that person would be.
Yeah.
That would make a great guest for our show. Call our studio lines here, 888-404-1010. Pat George will pick you up, and he'll be happy to take your question and, your suggestion, and we'll put that on our radar.
Listeners out there, who do you know who is a business owner that would like the chance to promote their business on an actual radio show and talk about their business and helping our listeners.
It's not only an actual radio show, but it's a radio show with a very, very big listener reach.
Yeah, Beasley said we have 35,000 listeners
Per week. Yep.
I'm very excited about that.
So literally the station signal between the two FMs, the HD and the AM station, it reaches from Brooksville to Sarasota to the other side of the state.
So when I'm doing my thing in Rockledge in a couple of weeks, I'll be able to listen to the show.
Where's that?
That's south of Melbourne.
You should.
Okay,
Yeah,
awesome.
on the HD.
Well, I'll
HD.
never get to actually listen to the show because I'm on the show.
Well, yeah.
I can
unless
watch
you're
the
somewhere
show.
else, you
That's
can
the
watch
other
it
thing. We
later.
don't even track the number of viewers we get on our website
Yeah.
watching the show after the fact. We're
Yeah.
like our own TV show, too.
Facebook, we do stream live, so you can rewatch it there. We can also watch the video later. That's in much better quality than the Facebook stream, or just the podcast. If you are one of the people that, like Leo, where you like satellite radio and podcast, you could just pick us up there.
Yeah. Actually, I know something that I would like to ask of our listener base. If you know someone out there who can redo the intro of our video, because I'm not very happy with the intro. I mean, I made it myself, and I'm just not skilled at videography. But if you know someone that could actually give us a proper video intro to our video show, please text that to 813-377-2775. That's 813-377-2775. We actually need a videographer who can work with us to give us a proper intro so we look like a proper TV show like we are. And I'm being serious.
Yeah, you have a good point. Yeah. Our full-time job, don't forget, is actually selling real estate and doing home inspections. Like, that's our job. And for you, more than home inspections, you do.
Yeah, I put out fires on a regular basis. That's my full-time job.
You have a team as well that does a lot of
Yeah, we
that
do
stuff.
structural engineering and home inspections, but I would love to have like a snazzy, like a Brooklyn Nine-Nine style intro into our show. I think that would be neat.
One of the big ones that we get to is what kind of credit score do you need to buy a house? That's a big one.
Like the credit score and the money down, do those go hand in hand?
Those are the two biggest ones. I would
but
say
do they like complement each other? Like the worse your credit score, the more money you need to have?
it could be, yes. It could be. I mean, here's the thing. They go so much off of automated underwriting, which means they're going to plug it into a computer system. The computer system is either going to say accept, which means it likes the loan, it's going to take it, or it's going to give a refer or a caution, which means no, we don't want to buy it through Fannie and Freddie's secondary market. You got to get that approved eligible for them to basically take your loan. No lender is going to do it unless it comes back approved eligible. Now, there's a lot of things that can skew that approve eligible, right? So many times some people might call it system manipulation, but it's really about structuring it to where, how will the system like the deal? Does that make sense? So if the credit score is more dinged up and they're putting a significant amount down and they've got a bunch of reserves or cash in the bank, the system's going to like that. It's going to take a lot more bruised credit if it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 months worth of mortgage payments in the bank, even after the sale, the purchase goes through.
So basically what you're saying is to answer our key questions of how much money you need down and what should my credit score be, you got to really hook up with Sarah.
Well, no, there's programs with as little as $0 down, and that's not just VA. I mean, there's many different loan programs out there, from the rural housing one in USDA to, the down payment assistance that literally have a very, very small amount in the deal. So I would say bare minimum, you need to have minimum for any purchase would be $2,000, because you've got to cover your basic cost, right? Like your home inspection, your escrow
appraisal.
deposit, your appraisal. So your minimum that you need, I would say is close to $2,000. But the good news is it can be a gift. So like if your parents want to give you the money to buy your first home, they can do that.
No, we're particularly talking to the Gen Z people out there.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yes.
And I know that the parents of those folks are probably listening. They're the ones that
The
would love for
millennials,
them
the
to
Gen
move
Ys,
out.
yeah.
They would love for them to go ahead and go get their own place, I'm sure. Many of them probably have the boomerang kids listening, or the boomerang kids actually living with them, the folks listening. So where they move out, come back.
Move out and come back. I mean, it is the cheapest rent to move back into your own basement.
It is. We don't have a whole lot of those here. Speaking of which, how do you feel about those? Because we had someone ask us
basement?
about that this week in Florida. Yeah.
I've been involved in a couple of projects where they wanted to put a basement in Florida. It can work in the right soil content. You can get them up in Safety Harbor. You got the clay soils, so you can actually put them in certain areas.
You
But
inspected any here?
I've never inspected an actual basement. Well, actually, no, I take that back. I've inspected one actual basement.
And?
It was lined in a complete tarp, had a sump pump. It was everything I thought it would be. A big soggy mess.
So you failed that all day long, is that what you're saying?
Well, I was out there to see why it was failing, and they used the wrong system to try and keep it dewatered. It all has to do with the vapor barrier and the way moisture diffuses.
Yeah.
And I can get very technical, but I won't.
I mean, that's a lot of the reason why we don't have basements here in Florida.
Yes.
We have that soft, sandy soil. We've got that, low.
The high water table. I
Right.
mean, usually
Low-
6 to 8 feet down is your water table.
Exactly.
So
Yep.
if you're putting a basement,
Leo, I've
Yes.
got a question for you. I know you're going out and checking out homes all week long. I wanted to know recently what you found as a major fail or a big flaw in someone's house. So you said, hold the horses, stop the presses. What do we have here? And this has got to be fixed before we can go forward.
Well, the funny part is he doesn't get to make that call, but he gets to put red flags
He
all
gets
over
to
the
bring it
report.
to their
Reflective.
attention.
Well, I mean, I get called in on, because we have a team, a very qualified team of certified master inspectors. I don't really get involved in the day-to-day inspections unless they're like,
Yeah, but someone
issues.
on your team has inspected
oh
something
yeah, and
that
they
said,
take it
Leo,
up to
take
me.
a look at this.
Leo, take a look at this. We had a sinkhole property earlier this week. We got out there, an appraiser flagged a home saying there were some stair-step cracks. The homeowner told us he stepped in a ditch that wasn't there the day before. So we sent someone out there, and sure enough, we could not rule out a sinkhole. But what was actually going on was the city water main, not the city water main, the city stormwater main had ruptured. And all the stormwater from the entire neighborhood was just going underground under their house, washing the soil away.
That's not good.
So we said we couldn't rule out a sinkhole, but we did actually state that in the report we knew that the underlying cause was probably shallow level soil erosion from the stormwater drain that had blown out, because the side of the house that was caving in was right near that stormwater drain. But yeah, that was a pretty big one that we saw this week.
Now, was this in the city of Tampa?
No, it's Pasco County.
Okay.
he loves to pick on Pasco.
I don't love to pick on Pasco. I mean, okay, I'll pick on I was in Treasure Island yesterday, and I was taking a look at some seawalls, and I love Treasure Island. It's a great city. We're a member of the Treasure Island Chamber of Commerce. And I just love that. Love Madeira Beach. Their
pretty.
seawalls are starting to age. Their seawalls are starting to get to 40, 50 years old. You're starting to get spalling on the caps. You're starting to get wash out of that soil, and it's time to be upgrading your seawalls. So it's just
now that
time.
expense is on each homeowner, right?
Yes, that expense is on each homeowner. And you get into dangerous situations where you've upgraded your seawall and your neighbor to your adjacent property hasn't upgraded their seawall, and you're starting to get blowout of your soil and damage to your new retaining wall or seawall because their wall hasn't been maintained. So what do you do in that situation?
I don't know. That's a good question. I guess they would have to get the municipality involved, right? And see if they could force them to make
I was
it.
asked that question twice yesterday. I didn't have an answer.
Couldn't answer it, yeah.
I said, recommended an attorney. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I would say.
I mean, yeah, seawalls aren't cheap. They can be $30,000 to $50,000 to replace. Not everyone has that, and I could see on this one wall I was just looking at that they were just caulking it. It was literally crumbling into the sea, and they were just putting elastomeric caulk on it.
You know, I personally think stuff like that should be built into their tax bill.
I agree.
Or I wonder if the PACE program would fund something like that. That'd be a great idea.
Let's get Pasco County back on the phone to answer that. I
Yeah.
mean, but the thing is, the navigable waters of the United States are actually maintained by the U.S. Army Corps. I would think that the U.S. Army Corps
We have a budget for it.
should be able to force people to maintain their seawalls. But then now I'm getting to totalitarian states, and
Yeah.
we're not allowed to talk politics. So
I mean, we're
Oh,
really
there's
not
the,
to say. I'm just saying, we know it needs to happen. And when something on your property is affecting your neighbor's property, that's not fair.
yeah, no, I
And
completely agree
so
with
that's
that.
why I feel like it should be built into the taxes, right? Like, I think all the roads should be built into the taxes. Not all of them are. Some of them are private roadways, and
You voted for that tax increase, didn't you?
for roads,
Well, whatever that 1.5% tax hike on sales tax was this past election.
no, I am not a Hillsborough County resident.
Oh,
So how's that?
I thought that. Oh, yeah, that's right. That was Hillsborough County. It wasn't statewide.
Yes, it was. Because as a matter of fact, Mike Fasano was nabbing some of these businesses that are charging the increased sales tax because we do not have it in Pasco.
15.
So it might be a good place to come buy some of your stuff.
888-404-1010.
We'll be back, Brett.
888-404-1010. We'll be back after the break. I'm going to go hide.
Who's the most maybe I'm putting you on the spot a little,
You
but
might be putting me on the spot.
who's the most fascinating person you met? Maybe you just didn't know anything about their business, and after you had a conversation with them, you're like, wow, it's pretty cool what they do.
I don't know. I met a lot of hotel and apartment building owners yesterday.
Okay.
So the most fascinating person I met was the person that was carrying in at one time 4 huge trays of Danishes.
Oh,
and
that's your
muffins.
favorite person. Got it.
That was the most fascinating person.
I thought you were staying away from those carbs.
I know. They were gluten full and lactose insensitive trays. I was just fascinated by their ability to carry all that at the same time.
Oh my! Why don't we run through some of our
You
active
said
listings?
fascinating to me.
I did.
Yes,
I
and
did. Of course, like Fat George's always involves food.
Yes.
Should have known.
Uh-huh.
All right.
That's an easy question.
Active listings. Help me out, Leo. We got some active stuff right now on the market.
Oh, we
some
do.
pretty amazing stuff, actually.
8620 Alafire Ridge in Riverview. It's a 4-3 with 2,342 soft at $350,000.
You mean square feet?
It says soft.
Square feet.
It says soft. We have 5952 more.
That property, let me tell you what, it's been totally renovated. It's actually a really, really great property. I'm surprised it's still on the market. It's got the whole yard is actually fenced.
It's got over an acre of land.
Over an acre. You can store some toys on there.
I just
It's
love
a really
the
great property.
money. I mean, I love the size house you get for the money in Riverview.
You know what else actually has over an acre of land? 217 South Taylor Road. That one's only 220.
And that's in Seffner, so you don't have to drive as far.
It's 210. Sorry, my bad. 210, but it's only a 3-2. It's a lot smaller. It's 1208 square feet, but it's got over an acre.
But can you build a second house on it?
I don't know. That's
Actually,
a county question.
Well, I know the answer. If you connect the two, you easily can.
You connect the two easily, but I'm never going to say, yeah, we always want them to do their due diligence
Yeah,
with the
but
county.
I like that. So you got a 3-2 for $210,000 with an acre of land. I mean, if I was going to live in Riverview or Seffner, I'd want an acre of land. I couldn't live in a tract subdivision out there.
Well, that's a lot of that. Well, it used to be a lot of that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, another property. This one is like something straight out of HGTV. Let me tell you, it's 3301 Cummings Place in Plant City. That's in the Walden Lake subdivision. 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, almost 2,600 square feet. That one's $340 with a private pool in a cul-de-sac. So it's a great.
I love cul-de-sac properties, especially when I'm watching my sitcoms. If they feature a cul-de-sac, all those neighbors are talking.
My very first home ever was in a cul-de-sac. It was pretty cool.
Did you get to know all your neighbors?
We did, every single one of them. Mm-hmm. It's like a block. It was like block party. They used to play street hockey. And my husband played street hockey
are
with
awesome.
them too.
Like if I was going to live in a tract subdivision, which I never will in my life, I would want to live on a cul-de-sac.
Yeah, it's a great place. I mean, when my client, I actually sold them the home and now they're selling it and moving out of state. But when I sold it to them, they loved it. They fell in love with the home the minute they saw it. And it's been upgraded since they bought it. So the kitchen, the bathrooms, everything's been fully updated. It's just a beautiful, beautiful home. So 3301 Cummings Place in Plant City, 4 bedroom, 3 bath, 2,600 square
Private
feet.
pool.
$340 with a pool. Great pool, by the way.
What about this Oyster Shell Trail one?
We also have Oyster Shell Trail. That one, we just dropped the price to $300, and I think that's officially opening up the floodgates on this property. It is lakefront in Odessa. You can't buy anything lakefront in Odessa for this price. 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath. And this one is a short sale, FYI, so about 0.65 of an acre.
Is it faux pas to mention opening the floodgates on a lakefront property?
No, you know what I mean? Like you hit certain price points where you get a lot of interest, a lot of activity, a lot of showings and offers. And I think that's where we're at.
Boat lake, a ski lake?
Both. You can do both.
Okay.
Yep.
Is it a catamaran boat lake or a
I haven't seen any
lake?
catamarans on there, but I don't know. You might be able to. There's some pretty good sized boats in there.
Okay.
I don't know.
Because I know that's the depth of the lake is important on these lakefront
It's
properties.
huge. Yeah, it's a really big depth lake.
Okay.
Big depth.
Awesome. So yeah, we got a great short sale, $300,000 on a oyster shell trail in Odessa, half an acre for you to park all of your boats.
Over. It's like 0.65.
Yeah, you can
really
park your jet ski, then you can park your catamaran and your other sailboats.
We also have Moore Loop. This is a great investor special. It's a little over 122,000, 5952 Moore Loop in Tampa. There's some building happening on each side of that property, so it might be a tear down for the right person, but it's so close to the airport. Just a really great location.
What I like investor special. What is an investor special?
It needs a lot of work.
A lot of work.
Yeah, you guys did the inspection on that,
I can't talk about the inspection.
Yeah, but it needs a lot of work.
It does. But I just see investors, because I know investors, like I'm a member of a real estate investment group, and investor specials to us are just good deals.
Good deals.
Very little work. We can just turn around very quickly.
Everybody wants that.
That's an investor special.
But some people want the ugly home that needs a lot of work. So.
Yeah, but the investor special in my world is here's a house that needs less than $20,000 worth of work. It's mostly cosmetic, and then I can turn around and flip it in 20 days.
You know who I think the perfect buyer is for that home?
More loop?
Yes. Someone that's just going to continue renting it until that property's at the end of its life, tear it down, build something new.
Yeah, I agree.
Because really, think about it. I mean, it wouldn't take that long to return the investment. You wouldn't have to get that many years out of it. And I think the home would have that many years.
I just like I like this showing we have. We have Riverview, Plant City, Odessa, Tampa, Sefner. We've got
Which
a lake.
we serve
We've got
all
a
of those
pool.
areas. Yeah.
We've got a lake, a pool. We've got an acre of land, a short sale, an investor special. We're just all over the board. I sound like that car guy from You Get a TV. You get a TV.
We serve a huge area, and we've got about 12 more that are prepping right now to come on the market. We're going to run through those kind of quick
I saw
too.
those.
But
We don't have time to hit all 12
before
of
we
these.
do, our off-air number is 813-377-2775. You can call or text. We do serve a very big area. We're happy to answer your real estate questions and also come check out your property. Again, it's 813-377-2775. You can call or text value to 813-377-2775. We'll check it out, pull some comparables, and let you know what we believe your home's value will be.
And I'm looking at this coming soon list. We got houses under 150. We got houses under 200. So we got I don't think these 5 listings that are in the range I just said are going to last at all once they come live. Do these even get a chance to come live, or are you just going to sell them?
It depends. I mean, usually when they're in this stage, they've already hired us to sell their home, but they're in the process of planning, preparing, and getting ready to go on the market.
I mean, we have one that's on here. It's a 2-1. It's in East Tampa. It's $115,000. I can't see that one lasting more than an hour on the MLS.
Yes, and that one, the price might actually be a little bit greater because the lot is huge on that one.
Yeah.
So she's already signed it. That's the beauty of hiring us. Many times people are just not ready. This particular customer actually has to identify another home in Thonotosassa before we can put that one live to sell.
That's not going to last long at all. I mean,
No.
I don't even think the one that's right in the next zip code over, that's a 3-2 at 140,000 is going to last long either.
No, we've got some cheap stuff coming. We've also got some big stuff coming. We got
The vacant land.
vacant land right here in Lutz. Great location on Livingston. That one's in the process of actually being divided.
So basically, we have 17 listings available right now for you.
12 are not even on the market.
12 are not on the market, so you can get an investor special deal.
Or just a really good deal from something that's not ready.
That investor special deal, that's you can get access to stuff off the MLS.
Yes.
That's an investor special in my world.
Yes.
Non-MLS deal.
So call us if you want to know what those homes are that are not yet on the market. We do put those out to our cash investors first. And so our off-air number is 813-377-2775. If you want to get the inside scoop on secret homes not yet on the market, 813-377-2775. That's going to wrap up hour 1 of Tampa Home Talk. We will be back right after this very quick break, so stick around and call in with your questions. 888-404-1010. 888-404-1010. We'll be back in just a flash.